Hey you guys, what's going on? This video is going to be about how to get your golden axe in Animal Crossing Gamecube. So a little kind of disclaimer, I need to make sure that you guys know that there is going to be some time traveling in this video, in this kind of setup tutorial kind of like thing. So if you're not comfortable with that, look elsewhere. I mean, this can still help if you don't want to time travel, but I just need to tell you that it's going to be a lot more difficult and a lot more time consuming. So, the reason I'm making this video is one, the new Animal Crossing game is coming out in a few days, this Thursday, and also because getting the Golden Axe is something that I always wanted to do, but it just kind of seemed way too complicated, and I've had the game pretty much since its initial release. I haven't been playing since. I haven't been playing this entire time since its release, but it was definitely something. It was pretty much the last golden tool that I would get, and it's also a lot easier to get in the other Animal Crossing games as opposed to the very original GameCube game. So the thing that makes this different is that it doesn't necessarily count against you if you don't have flowers in your town. So really, the most important thing about getting a golden axe in Animal Crossing GameCube is the amount of trees in your town. So pretty much what you need is there's an acceptable acre. For the sake of this video, I'm going to make it pretty much in layman's terms as simple as possible. There's an acceptable acre and there's a perfect acre. So pretty much an acceptable acre is an acre, of course I'm going to be using the word acre, so A1, A2, A3. This is an acre with just kind of the okay amount of trees. So what this is you can either have like 9, 10, or 11 trees, or 15, 16 trees. So you pretty much are more or less on the threshold of having too many or too little trees. This is an acceptable acre. And this is kind of what screws people over, in my opinion. Now, the thing is, if you have every single acre in your town having acceptable acres, let's say every single acre in your town has 10 trees, this is not going to get you a perfect town. Why? Because a perfect town runs on a point system in Animal Crossing GameCube. So, for example, you can have 15 trees in every single acre, but you're still not going to have a perfect town because each one of those acceptable acres is only going to harness half a point. Okay? What you need is at least, say, 6 or 7 acres that have one full point. Okay, now how do I get an acre with a full point? Pretty easy. You need to get right in the center. You need to get in the middle of that threshold. You can't have 9 or 10 trees. You can't have 16 or 15 trees. You need to have pretty much 11, 12, 13 trees. Okay, so for the sake of this video, let's go with 12. So it seems pretty easy, right? All you need to do is just get a perfect acre and be on your jolly way. That'll be one point. You can have as many perfect acres as you want, right? But the kind of screwed up thing, though, is that the game will not tell you if you have an acceptable acre or a perfect acre. You kind of need to do the math yourself. You kind of need to figure it out yourself. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of give you like a step-by-step guide on how you can accomplish this perfectly, okay? How you can do this in the easiest way possible. So first things first, you need to get to the point where you have that second best message. It says things are very good, but with a little more effort, things can be even better. That is pretty much the final message, where you have all acceptable acres, and also some people were saying that you must be able to walk a full circle around the tree, in each and every tree. I tested that. I planted a tree right next to one, and I still had a perfect town. So I don't know why there's that information out there. Maybe it was because it was just a sapling. I have no idea, but in my experience, it doesn't matter what. It doesn't really matter if there's any trees around other trees. And also, I've seen speedrunners play through this, and they didn't really care about if there was another tree next to another one. So, yeah, there's a lot of misinformation for whatever reason out there on getting the golden axe. So what you need to do, we have acceptable and perfect acres. Back to what I was talking about before. So that first step, you need to get that second to last message, and you also, or the second to best message, for whatever, put into those terms. In order to get that, there are some acres that are exempt. So, for example, the acre with Tom Nook's cranny, this acre is exempt, as well as the one with the well, and also the one with the lake. Also the museum. So these are completely exempt. In other words, if you have 8 trees in these acres, you'll still pretty much, it'll be worth half a point. However, you can still utilize these acres as well as the F acres. So these are the acres that are right next to the ocean. You can still use these to your benefit by having 12 trees in there. It just won't count against you if you have too little or too many. So try to ballpark if you have around 12 trees in those acres, and they should count for you, but they won't count against you. Of course, also make sure you have no weeds and no trash in your town. So now that was our first step. We need to get just that acceptable message. Now, once you guys have that message, now we have to get kind of nitty gritty. So what you need to do, you need to figure out how many trees are in each acre. And this can be a little bit difficult because sometimes it's a little ambiguous if a tree is in one acre or in the other. A good way to determine this is by judging just by the stump. So imagine that tree is just a sapling. You need to judge where that sapling would be, so where that base of that tree is, and if it's in one acre or the other. And you kind of have to see just which direction it leans in. Is it more so in one or the other? Because it'll never be perfectly in 1 acre. So this can be a little bit complicated, but this is the guide for dummies. So I'm going to tell you how you can do that without actually judging where the tree is. And how you can do that is you need to plant 1 tree for each acre. So go through the entire grid of acres, plant 1 tree each, save, quit the game, time travel to the next day. Okay? So why am I doing 1 and why am I time traveling? It's because it gets a little bit complicated if your sapling doesn't grow. So if your sapling turns into a weed, then the well will not register this anymore as a new tree, because it will register a sapling as a new tree. So you need to make sure that all those saplings actually grow into a little tree. And even if they glitch out where they kind of become stunted and they don't grow into a full tree, it'll still count as a tree according to the well. Okay, so now rinse and repeat. Keep adding 1 more tree to each acre until the well says that in acre so and so and so and so there's too many trees. So now once you get that message, you know for a fact that there are 17 trees in that acre. Okay, so once you know that, you can go back to that acre and you can destroy the sapling you just planted, and that'll bring you to 16. And then you need to destroy with an axe 4 trees, and that will bring you, and those are undisputable trees, so you know for a fact that they're not like on the border. You need to pick trees that are right in the center of that acre. Not right in the center, but just trees that you know for a fact they can't possibly be in another acre. So once you destroy those 4 trees, you need to mark down in some sort of map. You need to mark down in your grid that that is now a perfect acre. It's not just an acceptable acre, it's a perfect acre. So dig out those stumps, mark it, and then never go back there. Never plant any more trees there. Okay? So then, rinse and repeat. Turn off your game, go to the next day, once you have a sapling in every new acre, and figure out where you have 17 trees, and then you have to destroy that new sapling and destroy 4 more trees. Okay? So, if you keep repeating this, you should eventually get the perfect town message. So now once you get this message, you can't stop there. Okay? You have to keep doing this, just not touching the perfect acres, which you have marked perfect. You have to keep trying this on other acres, because you can't just settle for 18 points, because as soon as you get that message, you know that you've reached 18 points on the dot. It could be 18 and a half the first time you get that message, but you can't settle for 18 points because you need to be able to compensate for any new weeds that are growing for the day. So try to do this for try to get at least 6 or 7 perfect acres, and once you do that, then you can just keep fast forwarding each day and just plucking your 5 weeds for the day. And that's a good point of reference as well. You get 5 weeds per day. Okay? So, and then once you do that for 14 days, you'll be able to talk to the well. And I was actually surprised at what happened. That sounds kind of strange because I've done so much crap in this game that I actually really didn't know what actually happened. I thought it was just going to give it to me. But I'm going to let that, I don't want to spoil that for you guys if you've never seen that before. And don't look it up either because it's kind of cool. So, yeah, good luck, you guys. And tell me if you have any questions, write them in the comments for me. And I'll help you guys out with your perfect towns. Okay? And also, once you're able to get your golden axe, then you can chop away and make your town as barren as possible. However you want. Alright, you guys, so, yeah, signing out. Hopefully you guys are able to get a golden axe and a perfect town before the New Horizon game comes out.